Go.
Welcome back to RVA, Let the Chips Fall Where They May with Geraldine, and today we are finishing up with Antoinette B. Irving, who is the Democratic nominee and running for the office of sheriff for the city of Richmond. And we're back with Antoinette, and we want to talk about a few things now. We're out here in Jefferson Park, which is phenomenal. It overlooks our city, and it was like this was a good way to end this interview with her. But we want to get more into some things about, what her campaign is about, what she's about for the position itself. We talked a lot about her background and what she's been doing there. So now we want to hear a little more about who you all should be voting for on November the 7th. Antoinette.
Well, just as a follow-up, I'm Antoinette Irving, and I have over 26 years of experience with the Henrico Sheriff's Office, where I either worked, managed, supervised, or was the administrator of all sections in the Sheriff's Office. There wasn't any job that I didn't do or didn't supervise. Just a matter of making sure that people are treated fairly, people are treated with dignity, and can leave with being able to hold their head up to ensure that they can do what they need to do for their families and the community to be able to be a positive influence on others.
And her credentials behind, when we look at moving our city forward, our jail forward, which is a big portion of our city. Our sheriff plays a very intricate role. A lot of us if you don't deal directly with the city sheriff's department, we know about them. And it's something that she brings a lot to the table regarding that. There are a lot of things that you plan on kind of changing things that fit the mold of what you do. Your training has been extensive behind it. And I know it's not a lot you can tell us because you're running, but can you kind of give the viewers a feel for when you do win, and I believe in putting that faith forward and speaking things into existence, what do they have to look forward to as far as, changes, and is it something that's going to be major that people are going to be like shocked and devastated, like, hey, what happened to our sheriff's department? Or can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, one of the things that we want to do is we want to start dealing with restorative justice. And it's not just about restoring justice, but it's about restoring people and restoring families. What we want to do is actually bring mediation into the sheriff's office itself, and to ensure that family members and the actual person can meet together prior to their release to get an understanding of what's going on, what's been going on, and how we feel and how we've been affected or impacted by the particular phase of incarceration. Because a lot of times people seem to think that if I'm incarcerated, I'm going through it by myself,
right?
And it's my time and I'm doing it. And some individuals don't understand that the intensity and the impact of their family members. There's a large hole that's left when an individual is away from their family. So we want to make sure that you can talk to the family members and find out how I feel, what it makes me feel like while you're gone. What's going to be our plan when you get out? Simply because, a lot of the systematic part of it is making sure that individuals have a place to go. But having a place to go and not having an understanding of what's going to happen when I get to that place is a large part of how successful I'm going to be, or if I'm not going to be successful. Just simply having a family member say, yes, you will be able to come back to this home, and be able to understand there may be a child that was born while you were incarcerated, there may be a child that has graduated, there may be a child that's gone from middle school to high school, and there are different things that's going on with the individual and the family, and now we have to reintegrate ourselves with one another, because now who's the leader of the household, and how can we make that partnership work? Because now we're going to have to go into this in a partnership, because you trying to parent from inside a facility and me parenting as the other person at home, now we're going to be together and try to parent. That's a new aspect that we have to go through. Just like, will you have a job? What type of job will you have? All the things that you need to do as a family to ensure that you can be successful. So we want to look at some restorative justice things in that manner. Also, we want to look at restorative justice as far as the actual criminal activity that you were convicted of. So we want to make sure that if there's an opportunity for the victim and the offender to have a conversation as to the impact, the actual impact that you've had on that person, especially for some of the non-violent offenses, because sometimes it's a little bit more difficult when you come to violent offenses.
Right.
But even still, some family members may want to have those conversations if you've murdered their child or you at that point. Even some victims of violent crimes would want to do that. So we want to see how it is that we can implement that. Also a part of the restorative justice is to have family members to be able to do community projects together. Not just be able to visit with one another, but actually do a project with their young person to show them how important it is that they be a part of the community as well. Because children only do what they see. And if they see that their parent or older sibling is actually involved in the community, then they'll take it a little more serious about how it is that they're impacting this community themselves. So we want to make sure that all of those things can happen. And we want to start building respect and building accountability, teaching people about forgiveness and what forgiveness means. We want to look at conflict management and how is it that conflict starts, what actually creates a conflict, how you feel about conflict, and how are you going to respond to the conflict in your life? Are you going to allow that conflict to put you in a situation where you want to be vengeful and take revenge out on someone? Or are you going to have that to build you as a person and try to be a positive impact on the next situation that you're in? Because we learn from each experience that we have. So we have to make sure that we can give you all the tools that you need to actually go out in society and be a positive influence. Because it only takes that one turn when you get out. If you go back to the environment that you were in and it wasn't a positive environment, there was no use in you getting out, because you're going to do the same thing that you've been doing because that's what you know. We want you to be able to stop being a repeater and start being a productive citizen of the society.
And I think that's awesome. And with the conflict portion, you have quite a bit of expertise in that.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I actually work with the Virginia Center for Restorative Justice, and we work with a lot of our young people. And some other people actually work inside of institutions as far as how it is that you've impacted other people. And I'm also a certified mediator with the Virginia Supreme Court as far as family situations are concerned. So we've been looking at how it is that we can implement restorative justice and mediation and conflict resolution and conflict management. How can we do that? Because some people don't really realize that they're impacting other people. Again, we have to have those conversations to say it's not just about any one person, but it's about a group of people that are in your circle, and how it is that you either have to gain or increase the people in your circle, or you have to reduce and move some people out of the circle. And sometimes we actually want to look at the thing of sometimes you have to remove yourself from yourself sometimes in order to be a positive influence on what's going on. One of my good friends has a way of saying it. Mr. Netley says that you have to move yourself out of yourself's way in order to be able to be positive and be able to do the things that you need to do.
And that's so true. And I see that, I know that that's something that you personally practice.
I personally work on that. I've come a long way, as I've told a lot of people that since I've retired from Henrico, I've tried to do a lot of things to help me grow as an individual and to grow as a leader. Because our young people need to see leadership in action. If they see poor leadership, that's what they're going to model. You know, when I grew up, it was always people saying practice makes perfect, but if you practice bad habits, then that means that you're going to be doing the wrong thing or things incorrectly. So you need to try to practice those habits that are going to be positive, that are going to be influential in a productive way in somebody else's life. Because what you practice on a regular basis, it becomes a permanent part of what you do. It's not a thing of being perfect, because perfection is unknown. It's just a matter of fact whether you're going to do the negative or the positive, whether you're going to be an asset or you're going to be a liability. And we don't want any of our kids to be a liability. We want our young people and all of our citizens in the city of Richmond to be an asset to how our community grows, so that we can be in the top 1% of this nation, as to say we are a role model city for any other city in this world.
And I'm going to say I'm calling her now Dr. Irving, because she has deserved that. She's worked hard to get that. I'm going to ask you another question. It's kind of off the chart regarding this. Meaning you're running for position of sheriff, but you're heavily connected to the mediation you're connected, you're on the advisory board with the Boys and Girls Club. You do something that I think is unbelievable, and I personally want to ask you, would you still be doing that when you win position of sheriff? You said that you walk with kids to school in the morning.
Yeah, I got connected with them during the campaign. It's called Safe Routes to School, and every day they pick a different school. And just so happened, my elementary school is on that list, Woodville Elementary. So I take it upon myself to make sure I'm there. Some mornings I can't be because during the campaign we've been, out having meetings. But when I'm able to do it on Thursday mornings, I'm right there with those kids, walking them to school, and not really walking them all the way to school because a lot of times their parents are walking them or their older siblings are walking them, making sure that they get from their neighborhood, mainly in Creighton, making sure they get from their neighborhood into the school building with somebody giving them a pep up to say, hey, are you happy to be going to school this morning? How's your day? Blah, blah, whatever it is to make them feel good about what it is they're doing. Because that's needed. I was a safety patrol when I was growing up.
Oh, I remember that.
At Woodville. And it's a lot of positive teachers that are putting a lot of positive energy into it. The program itself is real positive. They've given out water bottles and they give those check marks and stickers to the kids if they're walking to school and coming to school. And they even ask, hey, can I get my stickers? Can I get my paper checked off? So yes, my goal is to do all the things that I've been doing and have a more positive impact on those positions when moving into the sheriff's office. And those are things that we as a community can do. It doesn't take a person in a position of leadership to do that. It just takes a person that cares about what's going on in the community to ensure that each individual has a fair opportunity to be successful and to live a positive life.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because you definitely have been that type of person. Like I said to you, I've seen her in many capacities. If you follow her, if you look at her history, she's involved in everything.